Hello there, welcome back. This is the last video of the week and it's Brand New to Kill. A film which I promised to do before Christmas and it's taken me this long to get it done. Mainly because I had to rewatch it again. I didn't really fully rewatch it in January, so I finally went to rewatch it. And I'm really glad I stopped myself from doing a video before the rewatch because the film made a lot more sense the second time around. This is like Seijun Suzuki's like final film for his company Natsumoto or whatever. I've forgotten the name suddenly. After this he was fired because this film to them made no sense and was weird and just incomprehensible, and they wondered what the hell he was doing, and it ended up to be quite a lawsuit. We had to pay him off and he was blacklisted for 10 years. But this, what a film we go out on, no, because this is a masterpiece. This is just beautiful. This is so good, and it's weird. It's I would call it an existential dream logic film. It's get that existential European feel of it, like people going through this situation where they question themselves and question their role in life, and it's that kind of dread floats through the film. But it's also a dream logic of things happen don't quite make sense. They happen like a way you would dream, like A to B to C to D is like A to D to B to E. It doesn't quite come together in a kind of way you'd expect, but it makes perfect sense when you're watching the film. It makes an emotional sense. It kind of prefigures David Lynch in a lot of ways, where things are happening and they don't happen in a conventional way, but they make emotional sense to you. And that's what was weird the first time I saw it, because the funny thing was when I saw it again, I thought certain things happened. Things that happened in the beginning of the film I thought happened in the middle of the film, and things I thought happened in the middle happened, you know, things I thought happened like later on in the film happened really early, and it was like, it sounds like a dream of film, it doesn't really hang together as a strong narrative. Everything makes certain sense, and it's so I had a completely weird view of the film in memory that wasn't quite what the plot was. But I remembered all the images of it. I remembered everything that happened, just in the wrong order, because the film is such a weird beast that it doesn't really matter. It's like all these like set pieces, but the set pieces are, it's sort of like Inferno, Gento's Inferno, where there's lots of set pieces, and the set pieces are actually not just the mood of the film, they're the meaning of the film. But it doesn't matter in which order they happen, isn't as important as they happen, and the lead character experiences them, or the viewer experiences them, and become this poetic thing rather than a narrative based thing. So the plot of this is basically Joseph Shishido, terrible names, you can just laugh at me for that one. He's a killer number 3, he's the third best killer. There's killer number 2, killer number 4, there's all these different killers. There's a mysterious killer number 1, the killer who everyone wants to beat. And number 3, he just thinks this person doesn't exist. They think they've made it up, so everyone's always got a goal to get to. So he's number 3, so his goal's getting to number 2 really. And at some point he's asked by a guy who used to be one of the killers who was thrown out to help him with a job. And since he's just back from holiday and he needs the money, he goes, okay, I'll do it then. And it turns out that it's just a transportation job to get this guy who's trying to the country, get from point A to point B. Pretty quickly he realises this friend is an alcoholic and isn't up to the job, so he has to take over, really, number 3 has to take over. And then as they go towards the destination, it becomes obvious a lot of the killers, the other head killers like number 2, number 4, are out to kill this person and have been sent out, and they're like, so he's up against the top people and he takes them down in brilliantly brutal ways. But again, it's a very dream logic, like everything makes sense, but the imagery is dreamlike. You've got you've got like things on the beach and flames on the beach, and you've got these people falling from the roofs, but in a weird way that it does feel more dreamlike than reality based. And it's black and white, so everything, it's very noir imagery. But it's noir imagery as if it's been infected by Lady from Shanghai. It's not traditional noir, it feels much more claustrophobic and interior, like it is inside someone's head. But it's just beautiful. Then after that, he meets up with this scary, scary woman who he offers a lift to, and she hires him to do a job, and it turns out she's also a killer and she's got her own motivations. The job goes south, and suddenly number 3 been hunted down by the guy who he originally transported. And it turns out this is the killer number 1, and now that first mission was a test. Now I'm explaining this, and this makes more sense than actually the film does. In the film, it makes some sort of sense, but in a more emotional sense that this killer number 1's almost like this unkillable machine. He's just this polite guy, but he doesn't quite feel real. And it's almost like killer number 3 is actually fighting himself and fighting his own worst nightmare. It's just a nightmare logic to the whole thing, and it's just weird. And there's all these other images and all these weird situations. Like, there's lots of, like, killer number 3 is obsessed by the smell of rice before sex. He's got this wife or fiance who's always naked. You don't expect to see this in Japanese films. Someone who's naked, this girl is, or this woman is, and she's insane. She tries to kill him at some point, and she's nuts. And obviously, him being with her is some sort of self-destructive thing. Doesn't make sense for someone who's healthy. There's something weird going on there. And that infects the film as well, this weirdness. There's something wrong with this guy, because he's much more attracted to this creepy woman who's hired him. He's much more obsessed by her, and horrible things happen to her as well, and it's just this obsessive, weird, in love with death. Like, everyone's going to die in this film. It's about death, it's about the best killer. And why is it by the best killer? It's almost like it's almost making you worthy of a good death, and it's this death-obsessed film, and it's almost like they're having sex to avoid thinking about death. Everything's about mortality, and like every death is almost like a set piece of trying to make something meaningless and meaningful. And the whole movie is this weird feel of like a personal film, but also there's a sense of humour itself. It's almost like aware that it's mundane, and it's not gothic in style. It's just gothic in the attitude, but it's a sense of humour about itself. So it's never too depressed or anything. It's always pretty humorous. So it's this unique mood to the film that makes you keep watching and become obsessed with the watch and try to work out what's going on. But it doesn't make sense, but it doesn't matter because it still makes an emotional sense. So even at the end, when you get to the end, that makes total emotional sense. Even though you couldn't see what was going to happen after it, just like it ends, but you've got what you need for the film. But it's this emotional interior noir film, but it's almost like a parody of the genre. It's almost like Suki couldn't do any more of these films without being openly mocking of them. Like he'd got to the end of his tether of this genre and made this perfect endpoint. It's kind of like what Sergio Leone did with Once Upon a Time in the West, where he couldn't really take it much further than what he'd taken it to. It was just like, this is the perfect end, and then we'd go off and do something else for a while. Or in his case, or both those cases actually, was take a long break from filmmaking before they come back. So this is a wonderful film. It's beautiful. I urge you to watch it. It's amazing. It's just stunning. But the first time you watch it, you'll be going, what? This doesn't, what? Because when I first watched it, it was like, it was great, but it was hard to figure out because it was always going off on weird tangents. Then the second time round I saw it, all the tangents made total sense to me. But it's wonderful, go see it. It's a great film. It's definitely worth your time and money. Again, it's available by Arrow. Great package. Easy to buy. In Region 2. So go see it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. This is the last video for the week. Next week we're back to colour. This felt appropriate for black and white. So I'll see you then. Bye.